What's up, scrappy peeps? It's Del from Inkie Quill, and I'm here with a bit of Mixed Media Monday for you today. Now, today I'm using some gel medium. Now, I have a few different types of gel medium. The one that I'm using today is it's by Matisse, and it's a heavy body gel medium, so it's a thick one. The reason why I find it's important to use a thicker gel medium for this technique is because you're putting it through a stencil, and if it's too thin and fluidy, then the stencil won't look as crisp and nice and plump as it could. So all I'm doing is I'm getting my gel medium, which is like a clear whitish goo, and it dries clear. That's what it is. It's basically clear smushy stuff. For those who aren't into mixed media, it's clear smushy stuff. So if you put it on top of something, it will dry clear, and because this is the gloss, it will give a gloss finish. Usually you have seen me use my matte gel medium, which is the same thing, but it's matte, not gloss. And I use matte gel medium for sticking stuff together and for putting coats over the top of things so I don't want them to stick, or I just want a matte finish over something. Whereas the gloss, this thick one, I like to use it for stenciling. So all I'm doing is using my palette knife and putting it through a nice little leafy stencil. No clue where I got this one from, sorry guys. And I'm using up the rest in my Use It Up little journal. I really recommend getting a notebook, a journal, a something or other. If you're getting into mixed media, put your leftover paint in there because it saves you so much trouble. And I started this Use It Up notebook maybe in maybe like a few months ago, I think, I'm not sure, but already it's almost full of backgrounds, and all I have to do is go back and put some focal images and stuff, and I've got a completed journal. So really do recommend. Let me know in the comments below if you have a Use It Up journal which you put your extra paint in and how you're going with it. So then the thing with matte gel medium is you have to clean your stencil straight away, and look at that clear glossy goodness. Yeah, it's so pretty. It kind of looks like embossed because it's bumpy and clear, like you can get papers like that. So all I'm doing is doing my favorite technique where I spray with water and then I spray my sprays. You've seen me do this technique before, and it didn't really drip the way I wanted, so more water it is. All of the water, more water. And you might be saying, oh, Del, that's looking a bit dark and a little bit like it's bleeding in the middle. It's okay, because I blot away a lot of it. And you can see by blotting it, you still keep that colour, but it just lessens the intensity of the colour a little bit. And the good thing with the matte gel medium is if you're quick and you carefully wipe over the top, it wipes the colour off. So you can see here, I'm just using a paper towel just to carefully dab the top of the bits that we put through the stencil where the gloss gel medium is, and it rubs off. Now some of them it did smush into because I waited too long, but if you do it quite quickly, it rubs straight off. And then look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. And you can't see on the camera, but it's really glossy and just luscious and beautiful. So here, this is one of my favorite things to do. If you have distress inks, they react to water. So distress inks, dilutions inks, they're all the same. And if you put water on your fingers and just drip it on there, so you can see the water's still on there, and get a paper towel, you've got to wait. That's me waiting fingers, and then dab it up, and look, it goes all mottily and amazing, and it lifts off some of that colour. And I think that's a really fun effect to have because it makes your background have a bit of depth and have a bit of dimension, and it makes it look like you've done a lot more steps than really just putting ink down and then removing some of the ink. So it's a nice little cheat technique. Now the reason why I chose these colours is because they perfectly match the colours in my friend and I's outfits. And I'm just using my Fave Bloom crepe paper 6x6 pad, which you can see I have chopped into quite a lot. And just going through some of the papers which I might use. I might use them, I might not, but that's okay, because even if I just rip them out, I can still just put them in the front and they'll be used very quickly. because it's crepe paper and I use crepe paper quickly no matter what it is. So I'm just adding some double-sided tape to my picture here, and I think I'm going to put on some vellum because I've been liking having a vellum mat around my photo before I put paper layers on. I don't know why. I just seem to be liking it lately, and it just gives a bit of softness, and tracing paper might also work the same way, or some other sort of glassine bags work the same way. And here I am with my fun foam. So this is a cheeky little sneaky technique. If you're a bit of a cheapie like me and you don't want to go through a million rolls of foam tape, buy some craft foam from the kids department, and bazinga. There we have it. It gives your picture some 3D-ness without the cost of buying and going through heaps of rolls of foam tape. Because I found that when I was using foam tape, I wouldn't want to just put like one on the top and one on the bottom of the photo. I'd want to put some in the middle too to support it. And then sometimes I would feel like maybe it would dip down in the parts where there's no tape. So I'd put more tape. And by the time I finished putting tape on, I'd used half the tape roll. So this is a much better solution for me personally to use. So adding some layers, and I was a bit of a fuss pot about these layers. I don't know why. I think it's because I hadn't actually really tried this technique before. I have actually, but not on a scrapbook page. I've done it on an art journal page, but not on a scrapbook page. So I was in a bit of Aaron and I call it a fussled mood. So fussled is when you're all confused and you don't really know what to do and you're all fussed. So I was in a bit of a fussled mood as I was doing this, and I decided to put that little pattern paper there just to break up the solidness of the pink layer that's also there. Using my tulle now. Now I bought this roll of tulle off eBay for about $2. I just typed in tulle and it came up. I bought it originally for my wedding and used it for a few wedding bits, and then still had about 50,000 meters left of it. So I thought I'd put it in my scrap room, and it's working quite nicely as a bit of a texture product. So I had to wait for my hot glue gun to warm up, and just adding some hot glue, and because that tulle doesn't really like tape. I will admit, if you're going to use tulle, use a wet glue of some kind. You might be able to try that Scotch. Oh, look, there's Aaron. Hi, Aaron's hand. Because it was quite difficult to do. I did do this the backward way, really. Should have put the tulle on first. Oh, there's Aaron. Oh, we're being lame and holding hands. So you can see the tulle, it doesn't come up a lot on camera, but it just gives a really nice soft floaty feel, which I think matches the dreamy fadedness of the background. Throwing around some real technical terms today. So this little heart is from crepe paper, and I think it's my second last one because I only managed to get one pack of those, and I think it's my second last one, which is killing me, but I can make them myself. If you haven't already, I think I have an Instagram post about how I did that. Yeah, they're really easy to make with a heart punch. Very, very easy to make. So this little dish has all of the crepe paper ephemera that I could get my hands on. So I only managed to get my hands on one packet of bloom ephemera, which is so sad. And the cut apart sheet, which I have cut apart. And there's not that much left now. I've basically finished it. There's not much left at all, which makes me terribly sad. But I did say thank you to the person who on my Facebook group, Scrapaholics Anonymous, posted the link to the digital one. So I think I am going to purchase that because I do like me some Maggie Holmes florals. So that little flower I thought just was good there because it kind of covered up all of the parts where those shapes connected in an awkward way. Just using a bit of a cut apart here and sticking that on. So let me know in the comments below, what is your favourite mixed media technique to try on scrapbooking? I really like putting stuff through stencils, if you haven't noticed. I love a good stencil, and I like to challenge myself to see what I can put through it. So today it was gel medium. Who knows what it'll be next time. I like modelling paste. What else haven't I tried? Oh, I want to try the Dina Wakley heavy body acrylic paint through a stencil as well. Now you might be saying, Adele, what on earth is that title? Well, my friend Anna and I call each other, well, I am MM Woe which stands for Mold Man Whoa, and she's negative X. Now, the reason why we have these names is because we were maths buddies at school. So we sat next to each other in maths for years and years. And one day we were staring at the mold on the wall of our classroom. And so then we decided to come up with some superhero names. And mine became Mold Man Whoa, because I'm a woman, not a man. I'm a woman. So that's why I'm Mold Man Whoa. And she was negative X because we were doing algebra stuff, which I cannot remember for the slightest. Why do we have to learn algebra and calculus in school anyway? Riddle me that. Because I cannot remember any calculus that I did in school, and it was very painful while I was doing it, and I haven't used it in real life since. So that's the title of this kind of funny layout. The letters that I used they were stickers, but they were gold, but they had like a kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? When you tilt them, instead of just being gold, they have colours underneath them. I'm not sure what the word is, but you'll know what I mean. So the gold it kind of reminded me of a superhero because it had like the rainbow undertones under the gold. So I'm just adding some journaling here using my Copic pen thing, which is a 0.1. Yep, it's a 0.1. 0.01 would be extremely difficult to see, I think. And I just named it MMWO and negative X forever because I'm that original. And just adding a few little enamel dots here. I have just got my hands on the Nuvo drops and they are so beautiful, but now I need the gloss ones. So I've already got the glitter ones, but now I need to get my hands on the gloss ones. So Jamie and Amy, if you're watching this, I think you need to hook me up with some of the gloss Nuvo drops. They're my friends that I got them from before. So I'm just adding some little enamel dots and some little wood veneers here and there because I like to have in my clustering, I like to have like one major cluster, and I usually have that down the bottom just because it weighs the page down, and then I like to balance it with a teeny tiny cluster in the diagonal opposite hand. Oh, I was doing the shake, shake, shake song. Shake, 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 shake your high shine, shake your high shine. Now, please note that I paused the camera and shook it for about another 5 minutes off camera before I actually used it. And this time I didn't spill it. It was so good. If you haven't watched my other video, it's called the hashtag slow-mo no disaster, where I spilled my gold Heidi shine and it was disastrous. But I think I saved it. And you guys seem to think I saved it too, which made me feel good. There's nothing worse than thinking that you did something good and then everyone's like, no. But no, you seem to like it, like what I did with the layout to save it. So thank you. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who comments on my videos and gives me a thumbs up. It really means a lot. The Inkie June Marathon is not an easy task to do, so it makes me really happy to see people enjoying it as much as I do. Pop it. If you could see the bunnies right now, they're just staring at me like, turn around, mum, while we get up to do some shenanigans. Anyway, yes, a big thank you to everyone who comments and likes, and I'm doing a big comment catch-up in the next week or so to write back to everyone's comments, and I'm getting on with my happy mail that people have been sending me. So thank you to all those people that have sent me things to my PO box, and I'm slowly getting to, I promise. It might be a year later, but I promise I'll get back to you. So thanks for watching, guys, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Bye!